Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session on Digital Essentials, Navigating the ANU Systems. I'm Candida Spence from the ANU Library, and today I welcome those new to ANU and those who are ongoing current students at ANU. I would like to acknowledge and celebrate the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people on traditional lands we meet today and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. In this session, we will cover the 5 main topics in this image. My role as a digital literacy trainer is to provide guidance to understanding the technologies at hand and to make it easier for the ANU community. I work closely with others in my team who support referencing, analyzing data, data management, and academic skills. I focus on supporting students with digital essentials that we are covering today and understanding the ANU systems and software. Throughout the year, I run workshops on Word formatting for academic writing and one-to-one consults for Word support and ANU systems and software that's covered today. There is a document with all the list of the links used and referred to during this seminar that will be available for your reference and further reading. Wattle, Zoom, and a range of tools are used for learning and communicating within courses at ANU. You will be using your ANU ID and password to access everything. Wattle stands for Web Access to Teaching and Learning Environments. It is the learning management system based on Moodle Learning Management System at ANU, so you may have come across it in your previous studies. It will be hosting all of your course materials, so they're interactive websites and course outlines, lecture notes, and assessments. Built in is Echo 360, which is a lecture recording system. There are other communication tools that can be brought into a Wattle course. It depends on what is set up in your specific unit. There could be forums, which are announcements and discussions. Choice, which are surveys that are posted for all students to respond to. And dialogue and chat. Dialogue is more of a private chat discussion area, small groups, or just one-to-one with the academic. Chat is generally the full class of students to have a chat about the topic of the course. Turnitin is also built within Wattle. It is used to submit your assessments, and it will be reference checked against billions of pages of content located on the internet, proprietary databases, and works of other students whose work has also been submitted into the system. Wattle will be available for you for 50 weeks from the commencement of the course, so basically a year from now. So be sure to download and store copies of your assignments, grades, feedback, and any material you would like to keep before this date. I will talk a lot more about Turnitin and provide a demo of Wattle and Echo 360 lecture recording. You will also have access to a Turnitin practice site. So that will be available for you to upload your assignment, access an originality report to see how your writing meets requirements, and that submission is a private location. It won't be seen by any of your academics. Once you're happy with your work, you will then return to the Wattle course of your course that is required to submit and upload it for that final assessment. Once it has been graded, you would return to Wattle, find the written feedback, and view all of your grades. I'm going to move over to the ANU homepage to start with where we would find Wattle, and then recommend a Wattle practice site you might want to join to learn more about Wattle. So from the ANU homepage, we click on Current Students, and you have email. I will also be talking about that later. Wattle. When you click on Wattle, you will be entering into your dashboard. There are two options here. You have Dashboard and My Courses. The view is slightly different, and I prefer to always go into My Courses. With My Courses, you can locate your units you're enrolled in and star them. All of my courses have stars in them, so they are filtered by starred. This will be useful when you acquire more courses throughout the year, especially into second semester. You can unstar the ones you may not require at that time, but they are still available when you select all or in the past. These sites you're looking at are courses that you can self-enroll in. Not every course within Wattle you can self-enroll in. You have to be enrolled in the course in that college, and it will be added to your Wattle dashboard and My Courses. But there are these few you can search and join. There is the ability to search for the Academic Skills Turnitin site. So if you type in Turnitin, and you will need to find the current year, and you would choose it and select Enroll. To start with, the Wattle Basics Online is very useful to understand all the different parts of Wattle. If it's green, they are for announcements, dialogues, chat, survey, or feedback forms. Blue icons can be reading, listening, PDFs. Forum is in orange, and this one you can actually click on, have a look at a forum, and provide responses so that when you're in your unit in Wattle, you can have the ability to confidently reply to a forum. Some units actually require participation in forums as part of their marking. Pink are more activities, such as this checklist to read and do, and there could be assignments with pink in your website. There's an assignment coming up. That one's pink. With all of your assignments back on your home page, if the due dates are provided, it will generate a calendar that you can access. This page has more information about how to access your grades. So if you can come back here and do some reading about Turnitin, accessing your grades on this site. Under blue, there's a Echo 360 lecture recordings. You will see that in your unit. When you click on it, it will open a new tab, and it'll list all the weekly lectures. This site has 2 of them, and you're welcome to practice listening to them on your device. Looking at this Wattle site on the left and right, we have indexes. So when you open your course, they all might be collapsed, so it's a good thing to open it. On the right-hand side is information about who to contact in your unit. Next, I will show you the Turnitin practice site. The Turnitin practice site has information about how to upload your drafts. There are many opportunities down below here, many spaces for you to upload. And it talks about all the information once you do, if you want ways to improve your writing, and where to make appointments. I will be talking more about the services to support your writing later in my presentation. So this site, once you upload any drafts, they are not forwarded to any college or academics. They are only for your purposes to receive a report and rework any problems you have before you return to your course to submit. These are the sample self-enroll sites I have already joined that I was demonstrating today. And next is talking about the ANU email. Your email address when you provide it externally is your U number at anu.edu.au. Within the ANU email environment, it may change to firstname.lastname, but it is your U number. The university will use this email address to contact you about your enrollment, fees, and the ANU library will contact you if a book you have on loan has been recalled and you have to return it within 10 days, or you will have a fee attached to your account. So do keep your ANU email separate. On the bottom of the slide are different ways to keep checking it. You can web-based check it through the current students page again. You can modify your phone to have an Outlook app specifically for your ANU email, or you can configure your desktop also with mail devices. So all that information on how to set them up is on the ANU services page, IT, and I will show that today in the presentation, and you can find the correct app or device that you need software to do. Once you've finished your studies at ANU, you can keep everything you've collected in your inbox. You will be eligible for alumni email for life. Your U number at ANU will change into your U number at alumni.anu.edu. This usually happens about 3 months after graduation. You will be contacted and told, asked if you'd like this, and told how and when it will occur. The setup for your ANU email is your U number with your ANU password. The policy is on this slide that you are not to forward it to any external email service providers, because everything you receive is part of the ANU data environment. So you need to follow our policy at ANU. You will also never be asked for your password in an email. You will be directed to identity.anu.edu to change your password or to log on to any services to do anything regarding your enrollment. Within your ANU email, you have access to many different programs. And one other thing to mention is your inbox, once it does exceed capacity, it becomes an online archive. So you can still search for emails that you need to search for, but you have the online archive that ANU filters automatically. This may happen about 2 years into your study. So if you can't find something in the inbox, you can go into your archive. You have the ability to set up folders and subfolders, calendar. With your ANU webmail that you access from the ANU homepage, so that was under email, you can then access the apps launcher next to the ANU logo, top left, and install Microsoft Office 365 onto your devices. You can have up to 5 devices with that installed. You can also access SharePoint and OneDrive, and I'll be talking a lot more about them when I get to the segment later in the session. During your studies, you may experience a variety of class types and support services. ANU has moved towards in-person classes, but Zoom is still used for a variety of purposes. You have access to log in and set up your own meeting, and you can use it for recording purposes if you need it for assessments. The recordings I make with screen share and the small image of myself are done through the ANU Zoom portal. The portal allows for long meetings and do not stop at the 40 minutes like the free Zoom account does. All communication through this ANU Zoom portal are encrypted, and recordings are stored on the cloud, and they can be downloaded and submitted if you're using them for assessment purposes, as I mentioned. Some of our training and some of our one-to-one consultations with the staff in my area use Zoom in addition to face-to-face, but if you can't come to campus, we do use Zoom for this purpose. Same with drop-in support at the Chifley Library. If you can't come in person to see the peer writers, they do have a Zoom portal during their hours. You'll find out from your lecturers or tutors if they want to do their office hours on Zoom or in person. If you are using Zoom, you obviously want to make sure you press the update button at any time and have everything up to date before you are going online to meet somebody. You can do a zoom.us/test. That's just to test your sound, have a look at your video, the background, set it to blurred, or import a background to use. I will show you what the portal looks like, and you can install Zoom from there if you haven't used Zoom before. So the address is anu.zoom.us. You can install Zoom from this page, and you return to this page to log on to the portal. Or anu.zoom.us will take you directly to this page, and you sign in with your U number and password, and then you set up your meeting. And once you're in Zoom, you can do the recording. Next is our tools for managing academic projects. We have a range of services and help options available to you while you study at ANU. The ANU library provides various library tours, and if you've missed them during O Week, you can watch on YouTube some recordings done in the past. Research workshops and guides are also available, and appointment bookings for subject-specific research consultations. I will demonstrate the way to find all those bookings before we finish the session. Writing and referencing, you have access to EndNote through the Wattle EndNote site. You can download Windows or Mac versions. And then back on the ANU library page, we have an EndNote guide and links to recordings of training. Mendeley or Zotero are also available. Zotero is used in the law area, especially with AGLC referencing, because EndNote isn't supported with AGLC reference style. As I mentioned, formatting your document is something I support the ANU community with, about using Word more efficiently to format and navigate long documents. Research data management on the second half of the slide is when you're going on to do a lot of research, how you're going to plan your data collection, manage the data, and all the types of software to analyze the data with training and online support. With copyright, we have all the principles for the ANU community of what you need to follow so you don't breach copyright, and we have contact details if you have any specific questions. And of course, we have the Digital Essentials session, which we're running today, and it will follow through as to different ways you can do some online collaboration tools, which we'll be covering next. Another area of the ANU library is academic skills. The peer writers, that's on the next slide, sorry. The topics they cover are broken down into three main areas: academic integrity, which was how I had recommended you use the Turnitin practice site. They support that and help with finding and using referencing sources properly. They provide ideas and techniques to improve your study skills, reading, note-taking, time management. Writing and assessment throughout the year. As you prepare for your presentations and exams, do return to their website to find tips on how to prepare all of your academic work. Once you've looked at their resources, you can make appointments to discuss your writing, your planning, and how to tackle your exams. The peer writers are drop-in from 12 till 3 in the Chifley Library and via Zoom. They are 10 to 15-minute appointments to help you unpack your assignment question, understand your paragraph structure that you do need, how to write to meet your assignment, and any referencing questions. Back to the first point about appointments, we have learning advisors and writing coaches. The learning advisor appointments are primarily for research HDR students or students with long documents or complex written tasks such as honors thesis. The writing coaches are shorter appointments, half an hour to discuss coursework materials, and you would, all of those types of appointments, you would submit your drafts through the Wattle site so they can review it quickly before they meet with you. You can also apply for written feedback instead of a meeting. In the other side of the slide is, as I mentioned, the Word thesis formatting consults I provide, digital essentials, and EndNote consults once you've completed the EndNote modules. We also have subject-specific librarians to help you find and access information in the branches to support your studies. Across the rest of ANU, we have other services to support your academic projects, and the type of students that need the ANU Research Development Team are catered to the HDR candidates to help them focus on their writing and editing goals. And they even provide writing camps and competitions to showcase the research. For students using a lot of data who need to analyze it, there is a network of statisticians to help narrow down what is the best way to tackle your project and how to design everything that needs to be done to get through to analyzing it so it can be put into the thesis. The last service is now part of the library, the Cardio GIS Services Unit, and they provide maps to be used for any type of academic work, and they also provide training on GIS software to analyze your data. And next is communicating online. When you have come to ANU, you will be working within your own colleges. You will be working with academics and tutors who are in the same field, so you can practice how to communicate, change your language and behavior to focus and build a new community with people who you are now involved with. We have different ways to help you connect. You will be using email, but as I mentioned before, discussion forums and chat. There will be online meetings and conferences, so you've got access to Zoom and screen sharing within Zoom. When I was talking about the ANU library, you might be using images and making sure you understand the copyright and repurposing of those when you're using images and videos within your colleges and work. When you do collaborate online, I'm going to show you OneDrive and SharePoint. Some of them are forums, so if you're using Teams as a chat, you don't have to be in the same place. You can use Teams to chat and respond when it's suitable. Even with forums, you don't have to reply right away. You usually have some time before you're required to submit to a forum, so it gives you time to research and form a suitable response. The only problem is if it's not face-to-face, you might have limitations on your words. You don't get the visual or tonal cues, and you can't understand the conversation pace. The last one, with retracting statements, do keep in mind once it's posted, you may not be able to bring it back. So what I recommend is for every course you have a Word file saved in your file area, and you write it, spell check it, and then copy and paste into Wattle. So it's Wattle Forum or any discussion platform you're using, so you don't incorrectly post some information. We are now ready to have a look at OneDrive, Teams, SharePoints, and Groups. That is part of your login. OneDrive has 1 terabyte of space, and IT Service Desk can upgrade it if necessary, and same with SharePoint. The difference between OneDrive and SharePoint, I will show you at the demonstration. But what's good about using a OneDrive or SharePoint is you store your document on that platform and share it, that all groups members can access at the same time and edit at the same time. It saves circulating incorrect versions, out-of-date versions, and losing data. Even on OneDrive, you can look at the version history to revert back to a previous version if necessary. Of course, it can be downloaded as a Word document or PDF when completed. When you were in your mail, we went to the apps launcher, and I've opened OneDrive. As I mentioned, SharePoint is also there. So the difference between SharePoint and OneDrive is your personal file space. You can create folders and subfolders. I've put some demonstrations of different methods. You can use numbering, or you can do it by year, and then within that, you can do sub years. So you would create new folders. These are your own files, but you're able to share them with individuals. The little tiny icon on my test documents indicates the whole entire folder has been shared. The individual I shared it with, or individuals, they would have received an email and a link to come in to this folder and use the files as required. They cannot go into any of my other folders or files. You can, as you can see, all of these are shared, but in most instances, you mainly share a file with somebody. This button opens up the email that would be sent to the individual or many individuals you would like to share the test file with, and you can add a message. That will send an email and the link to the file. You can open it from this location, but the people joining will always have to return to their inbox, open the email, and click this link. So that is the harder part of the process, because they are constantly having to find the link to locate it. If you create a SharePoint site, that is the difference. But while we're here in a OneDrive file, you can see you're in Word. You have some similar features, but not all the same as the Word app. You can choose to open it in the desktop app if you are using it. So the more advanced features such as styles that somebody may be using in a thesis aren't visible as much in here as it is in the app. You can also choose to copy, make a file save as copy, and you can choose to rename it up here and see where it's located. And version history is what I mentioned earlier. I've been using this file for a few years now. If I wanted to look at the version from July, I can look at the changes there. Back to document. When the document's being used with multiple editors, you can press catch up and it will bring up symbols and text to show who has worked on what parts of the document. From Apps Launcher to SharePoint, if you create a private group, you can add people to the site. So at the moment I have myself, but you can add members and you can give them different status and remove them from the group when it's done. The difference is everyone who's a member can come in and add new folders, upload new files, and everyone can easily access them without having to be shared a link through an individual's OneDrive. So that would be the difference between what works best for the type of collaboration work you are doing. The next section is protecting your network. ANU has information commons labs across campus. They are computer labs, group study rooms, and teaching spaces in the libraries, residences, and various buildings. You can log on with your UniID and password, and you'll have access to your OneDrive space. So that way, when you go home, you will also have access to the OneDrive same space via the web. If you do bring your own device to campus, you need to connect to the ANU Secure network. And on your device, you need to have a firewall turned on and use up-to-date antivirus software. In Windows, you would go to your firewall and ensure it's turned on. On Mac, you will go to Security and Privacy, unlock your computer, and Firewall tab. Make sure the firewall is turned on. You will also have access to wireless printing when you do bring your laptop to campus. If you finish the assignment while you're at home the night before, you can upload it to wireless printing, come to campus and release it so you can print it. ANU doesn't have any specific antivirus software they recommend, but years ago they did provide Sophos to the ANU community, but you can do your own research to see what works for you if you want the different types, but all you are strongly recommended is to keep it up to date. So if it expires, do install a newer one or pay for a subscription that continues to keep updating. Your operating system, Windows or Mac, will also be prompting you to update. So do keep that up to date and don't let them slide. And be wary of any programs or files to download from untrusted sources. That's why at ANU we've got software through Microsoft Office for you to install. We've got access to Adobe AU for you to access through your U number at ANU. So you don't have to use sites such as I Love PDF or anything if you want to work with combining PDFs. ANU will send you a link to identity.anu.edu to update your password. They won't send you please click here to update your password. So just be careful of that. And with the browsers you use, some of them can include phishing filters to stop those types of websites that have those messages that there's a deceptive site ahead, and it'll stop you from going there. So that might be good to make sure you've got a phishing filter on your browser. And backing up your files on a regular basis. One of the screenshots I had there was folders I created on a regular basis, and I updated it, even though maybe if you're working off your laptop, definitely update all your files. So it's only a replica copy. So OneDrive is a good place to do that, or purchase a external drive of some sort. Do be wary of all of the different types of identity theft. We have some modules at ANU to help you learn more about that, protecting your identity. We do have security staff who can help with recovering you from a hack if it was to happen in your ANU environment. And we do have modules through this website you can make sure you watch, so you are very aware of what you are accessing, and so you don't become a victim of a hack or any type of phishing scams. These are some of the reminders about your password. It must be 10 characters long, and it can't be any of your past 5 passwords. And every 180 days, you'll be required to reset your ANU password. So you'll get an email to your ANU inbox, 15 days, and then 3 days. If you don't reset it, you won't be able to log into the ANU systems. You won't be able to even use your phone or your laptop on the ANU secure network if it is expired. If you're working on assignments through Wattle, you wouldn't be able to get into Wattle to submit your assignments. So that's why all these reminder emails are sent to you 15 days and 3 days before. So when you get the email, it'll tell you to go to identity.anu and you will log in so you can see that this is ANU branded identity self-service account that you will log into to change your password. While I'm here, I'll just remind you, as we were talking about, from the student homepage, you can click on services, and the services page, you got IT and email and service desk help, and any OneDrive Office 365 assistance you need. So email is how to map your device to the ANU email. The Print, copy, and scan is coming up about the quotas, but you can always come back here and check because it's on my presentation in a moment, but you can always come back to services, IT, print, copy, and scan, and then you can always get help through over the phone, or you can come in person to the shop front at Joplin Lane. You can book if you wanted to, or you can just turn up and see if they would help you. That's taking me through that. 20-minute IT support or Wi-Fi issues if you're having troubles. ANU Recharge, which is recharge.anu.edu, will log you in. And once you've used up your $44, you can add more value. You can look at your past history. And as I mentioned, in this same portal is your wireless printing. Once I'm logged on and I click on wireless printing, it takes me to another page. But what it does is it allows you to upload your files. And then when you're next to a Follow Me printer, you can send it and release it from a printer in one of the libraries. Here's a breakdown of the $44, and it will be allocated another $44 in July. No carryovers from that $44, but if you had added funds yourself, that would be carried over to the next period. So that will not be released. It's just the $44. Whatever's not used will just reset to 44 in July and January. We have a virtual private network at ANU. If you need it to access any specific ANU drives for your research, you will actually you'll be told about it through your courses or through your research project. Staff use it if they're working from home to get access to staff servers, but it is there if you need it. The ANU OK app, the link to the information's on the student homepage. We just recommend to have that on your phones when you're on campus. You can get access to any alert messaging or the campus map, or contact UniSafe if you wanted somebody to walk you to your bus or vehicle later in the day from anywhere. The last one is social media and learning at ANU. We just remind you've come to a new institution. You want to maintain your privacy when using any social media or online tools. That's why with Teams chat, you can set it up on your phones as a Teams chat and members can join it. That way you don't have to hand out your personal mobile number to new people you might not know at the time. And as I said, SharePoint, you can create that private group for your members and you can post files and even have discussions, as I said, through Teams and chat. If you were required for any assessment to set up a Facebook site, you can use your personal one and do your posts for assessment purposes, or you can set up something separate for assessment purposes, a new different name, as long as the academic that's reviewing it is fine with that. And what you would want to do is make sure you set all settings as tight as you can when you do set up those accounts. If you are contributing to a blog or wiki and any type of social media, just remember you're representing ANU. So we have some policies here at ANU. As I mentioned, all of these links are in the handout after today. So I'll just go over and show you that. It was in a PDF broken down by each of the segments of the image. So the online resources, the academic projects, communicating and protecting your network and social media. So that one was found off to we have the recording, and we have register to make an appointment with me if you need some help with OneDrive or any setting up of your ANU systems. So to conclude, we have talked about all of the images, segments in the image here today. I guess you just want to take everything on board, make sure you're ready for the year. As we all leave our accommodation in the morning, we lock the doors. I guess what I see is similar. When I teach, we have our layers of adding our passwords to our devices, updating your operating system, installing antivirus software, and backing up your files and your photos. So bringing all that together with all the resources here today, I hope you can find a way to manage all of your digital essentials. Thank you.